Hi. So there was this Minecraft mod called World Builder. You might have just gotten the mod and don't know how to use it. Well, today I am going to be telling you how to use the World Builder mod by Orville Studios. And also recently this mod just got a big update 1.6. So I will also be showing you some of the new features added in the 1.6 update. But anyways, let's get into the video. SuperMax123. So in the Minecraft Marketplace, you can either activate the add-on in a new world or an existing world. Since I already have a world I want to install this on, I'll just click this. And then we now have the mod. And we now have the mod activated on the world, which means we can just click play. So once you load the world, you should have this World Builder handbook. If you don't, you can go ahead and go into the creative inventory and scroll all the way down and then grab your handbook. Now, if you right click while holding the handbook, you have an introduction tab. It shows you stuff here. How-to guide. Now, if I don't mention something in the video, you can go in here and use that. You can go through here and learn about that. Change logs tells you about every single update that has been released for World Builder. Support, this is just telling you to go subscribe to their YouTube channel. I would recommend doing that. And also subscribe to me. But yeah, now that we've just reviewed the handbook, we can review all the cool features of this mod. So first off, what I want you to do is to go into the creative menu. And also you will need some sort of build to use this on and test. So you want to just get the far selection one from the creative menu. And by the way, this mod only works in creative mode, but it can still help you build massive cool things. So the block that you want to select, you just want to put a block here, and then right over here, a block here as well. And then you use the far selection one and select this block. And now you can move it around and select the entire build by clicking on this block. And then once you click that block, you can move around again. You can even put that away and the outline still stays there. And also, I forgot to mention, you can outline a pretty big space. Like, very big. I bet you I could outline that entire forest. Just ignore that spruce part over there. It's very big of how much I can outline. Now, if you go back into the creative menu and scroll all the way down to the bottom again, takes a little while, you will be able to see this copy item. You're just going to grab that along with the paste item. And now everything in this box, I'm just going to break that. Now you can use this piece of paper, these two pieces of paper you have, and right click. You have just copied your entire build. And now you have, when you hold the paste option, you have this giant box that's floating around everywhere. If you place it right here, if you place it where you want to copy your build and then you right click, your build has just been copied to that spot. Let's just say you didn't want to move this, you don't like its spot. You can go back into the inventory and get yourself the undo button, and then you right click and now it's gone. It's all gone. Real quickly, we're just going to keep this undo thing in our inventory up here, but you can do a lot more things with this selection box. Like that copy and paste thing I just showed you. What if you wanted to change up the blocks or stuff on your build? You can just paste your build somewhere else, and then you can make all the changes that you would want. And then you can copy this build, and then you can make all the changes that you want to this build. As many changes as you want. Now let's say you wanted to get rid of a build for some reason. You can go back into the creative inventory and get yourself the cut tool. and then you're going to cut your build out of existence. Oh, we got a new job. But let's say that we don't want this thing gone. Now it's back. But one thing I forgot to mention, if you cut it, the build is still on your clipboard. So let's say you wanted to like organize your world. You could you could put the build over here, and then you just got a way to organize your entire world. Now, sure, this will take a long time to do all of them, but organize them while you can before there's too many. But oh no, but let's say you liked a build on a spot, but then you cut it. Undo. This undo is so overpowered. But let's say we don't like where this build is. We can go back into the creative inventory and get ourselves the selection move tool. And now that we have this in our hand, we can face the direction that you want for your build to move. Click this, and then you select how many blocks you want it to move. Let's say like 13. And now your build has just moved 13 blocks forward. Now let's say you want to move it back, you just put 13. Boom, back in the same exact place. Accidentally messed up this path right here. Let me just fix that. There, see? Exactly back how it was. And you could just use the undo thing, but this is cooler. This is so much cooler. Wait. We can make a flying house with this. And then let's say we want it back on the ground. Right click. It just got brought back down to the ground. It's that easy. Wait, I just thought of something. What if we use the cut tool? And then this would only work if the mob works in survival mode, but here's an idea. Let's say you run on an adventure and it was becoming nighttime. You can paste your house. Then you have an insta house. Go sleep, and then you come back, delete it, and then it'll be like it was never there. That would be so cool if you could do that. Now let's say we wanted to stack all these builds. Let's just say we wanted to stack all these builds and make multiple of them. We can paste it over here. This is just a random area I scouted out on the seed using it. We can paste this here. And now, if you go back and get your selection move tool, and then you crouch while holding the selection move tool, you can change how it is. So we're just going to select the selection stack. And now we have a brand new item in our inventory. But let's say but with this selection stack tool, you can duplicate things. So we just face the direction we want it to duplicate, and then you select how many times you want to duplicate, 22 times, and then boom, you just got 23 houses. But it only did 10 because that's kind of a big number for such a big build. So we have 11 houses. But what would happen if we faced up and then duplicated it 22 more times? What? 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 You just made, you can make a mansion with this. What? That's 22 houses all stacked on top of each other. Wait, let's see if I can undo all of it by the time I get down. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, I did it! And also, one thing, if you go back into the inventory and get the redo option, you can just bring back all your stuff. Now, if we grab the selection wand again, and then select all of these houses, set it to like that, and then we can copy that to our clipboard. And now that we have that in our clipboard, we can paste it right here. So yeah, but let's say we wanted these houses to be facing that direction instead of that direction. We can use this and then rotate it by clicking 2 times. And now our build is rotated, and then if we paste it, the build is now facing this direction. You can also just rotate it like that and then paste. And now they are all facing that direction. You probably get the point by now. Let's just say we want this all to be gone, but I don't want to use the cut tool because then that will save it to my clipboard. I just want this thing to be gone forever. Not the original one, by the way. If I crouch while holding our thing, we can get the selection fill. You can get the block picker and then select air, and then you use the fill tool, and now the build is gone because it just filled in everything with air, basically making it gone. But this doesn't only do air. We can select wood, for example, and then we can fill it, and now we have a giant wooden box right here, which is entirely filled in. Not one gap in the whole thing. Well, now there is one because I made one. Let's say, for example, I don't like this white terracotta here, and I want to replace it with something else that is better. So what you want to do is you want to get the block that you want to replace this with. Let me think for a couple of seconds. Oh, I know what I can use. I can get some oak planks, place them right here. So we can select the selection replace, and then we can click while holding it. And now we have these options in our inventory. And we cannot place anything else in here because our inventory is now full. Like, we can't put stuff in the hotbar, only here. So we want to go select the block you want to replace it with. For me, example, oak planks. And then you select the mask picker and select the block you want to replace. For me, white terracotta. And then you push the confirm thingy. And then your white terracotta has been replaced with oak planks. Now let's say I don't like this moss down here. I mean, like, you could fix that real quickly, but I don't want to. So I'm going to select the block picker and then mossy cobblestone and then fill it. And now all of the mossy cobblestone inside of this build is gone. Now let's say I want to change this floor up a little bit. Well, you can't do that. So now I know you could just select the floor, but I didn't want to do that because you can't do everything with World Builder. You can only do a couple of things. Like, it won't auto-generate a build for you. You got to build the build, but it can help you try some new things like moving it and all that stuff. One thing I forgot to mention that World Builder can do is, let's just take oak planks and birch planks. And then we place these 2 blocks down, like that. And then we use the selection replace. If we pick the block picker, but we crouch and then push enable addition, you can select both of these blocks and select the block you want to replace in the build, and then you confirm, and now most of the blocks are changed, but there are birch planks and oak planks scattered about the build. So this gives it a bit more variety. And now that's a bit better, like certain parts are wet in the build. And you can see it just scatters them randomly. So you don't have to just think of something. It just does it for you. So like there's little wet spots in my build now. I also did these down here because they're those blocks there. Now, if you go into here, push introduction, and then give toolbox, and then you drop the toolbox, and you will see a new tab called toolboxes. If you click that, and you select new toolbox, let's just select lime, a good color, and then you can select starter, and then we have all these things. We're just gonna select terrain for now, and let's just name this perfect. And now we have this toolbox that tells you what to do. If we right click while holding it, you will get these trays here and a navigation wand. Now, if you hold this navigation wand and point it at a place you want to go to, you're instantly there. Now, these are kind of like ender pearls, but it's instant. Like, so if I just throw it over there, I am now in a random spot in my world. Yeah, they're just ender pearls, but it's instant. Now, this is the way to travel. Let's travel back. Boom. See, it's so easy. And now we're going to go into here and select terrain shaping. We will now have these blocks. We will now have these brushes. A rock brush, a lifter brush, eroder brush, smooth brush, and the river brush. If we use the rock brush, we can make rocks in our world. Look at that. We just made a giant rock arch right in the middle of our landscape, which is pretty cool. So we can just... Now, if you are a map maker, this can be really useful for making arches. And then you can just use these undo tools to undo everything. This lifter brush will lift the ground up. So we could lift this house up out of the ground. Nope, that didn't work. The eroder brush will delete stuff. Now we gotta drill now in Minecraft. Oh, I just saw diamonds! Diamonds! If this worked in survival mode, this would be so useful. But make sure, just be careful, it can dig through bedrock. So be careful. The smooth brush will smoothen out your world. Like, let's say this area isn't that smooth. We can smoothen it out. Smoothing out this house. For some reason, when you do it on stuff like houses, it kind of messes up. Let's make this kind of smooth. Doesn't look that natural. There we go. Perfect. And the river brush just makes a river. Look at that. Now we got a river. It's more like a pond. But it worked. Now, if we go back here and do terrain painting, we can use this stone overlay brush. And this should overlay stone on our path. But now if we use the stone replace brush, why aren't these working? Let me know if yours work in the comments below. Okay, terrain details. We have foliage brush, It's basically like bone meal. Flower bush, bone meal. And this can go really far. Look, I just made the flower biome thingy. Okay, this is getting out of hand. And the lily pad brush. Add some lily pads to your lakes. Not this many though, not this many. So that is the end of the brushes section and also the end of the video, period. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe. If I missed anything, let me know and I might make another video on that. And like and subscribe. If you're on glue, just watch videos. Bye!